And we are back, Occasion and Purpose fans. We here to bring you the best podcast ever.
So we say.
So we say, in our own opinion. What is this podcast about, Doug? It's about life. It's about love. It's about God. It's about religion. It's about being good people. It's about having a purpose. It's a self-improvement podcast.
Yes, that's what the podcast is about, mostly. What we're trying to portray in most of our videos, that's what we're trying to do. But this podcast in particular is a origin story.
Yeah.
We have not...
Never, ever have I ever told you guys who we are. Well,
we talked about who we are.
How we met. Why we even wanted to do the podcast.
Yeah.
And
how we got started.
What do we want to do from here? How we get started.
Because we talked about it before multiple times.
Yeah.
How like I was the loud one in the astronomy class, and I borrowed a pencil. I borrowed a pencil from you.
Just retell
he
it.
still won't
just
let it
retell
go.
it. Just retell it, because I don't think they.
We're in. All right. So this is the people. This is for the new people that watch us. What's up, Ruby? Hey, what's up? I see you watching.
Hey,
you told me
Rubes.
this is videos mostly for you because you wanted to know, and like I said, I keep my promises.
I think a lot of people
I
wanna
keep
know,
my
too.
word.
A lot of people would like to know.
Well,
people think you live with me.
I do not live here. I do not live here.
Oh, hey, big Doug doing
I don't live here, right?
You don't
Even
live
your
here,
mom
man.
thought I lived with you for a second.
What Doug? Yeah, I'm going Doug's.
It's like,
Doug don't live here.
No, I don't live. I live 20 minutes away from
Just
you.
a friend.
But yes, we met in community college. We had an astronomy class together. He sat next to me, and we were doing something. I'm like, hey, can I borrow a pen? I borrowed a pencil, and that's pretty much it. That was how it started. We had a study group together called the Astro Buddies.
Astro Buddies.
And then that came from there. And then I think one day, we were waiting for the Astro Buddies to like contact us. And I'm like, hey, let me show you to this spot that I like to be at.
Yeah.
Up at the community college. And this is a little area. It's kind of secluded. You're kind of away from everything.
Yep.
But you're so close to everything. But you kind of can see a nice view there. And then
Everything.
we just started talking, and I brought up about how like I'm a believer and stuff, and he was a believer too. And then it's kind of like a podcast just struck up from that conversation. And then we just started hanging out more often. I invited him to my Bible studies. He started coming, me, my other friends, and then we kind of just like, hey, we should do a podcast together. And we were talking about it. I think he was like, we should do it, but we never knew when or how to do it.
Yeah, it was a lot like where we shoot it at, and so we kind of like just abandoned the project until I moved. I moved in with Jerry and Kevin, and once we moved there, I was okay. Well, I can do it in my room, on my desk, and that's where if you watch episodes 0 through probably like 15 or something, they're gonna all be in my old room.
Maybe 15, yeah.
Probably around that time.
Because I know episode 12 we're in your room still.
We're in my room. Yeah, it gets pretty high. And so we're doing it in my room. And the episode 0, we always laugh about it because we do the episode, and I told Doug, like, I don't know if I even wanted to release it. I don't think I did.
No, you said this is just a practice one.
I'll
It's like,
release it, but it's not like I'm not gonna advertise it. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, and surprisingly, that's the one that got the highest view even after we released the first official one.
Yeah, episode 0.
Episode
I titled
0
0 because it's not even.
It's like the pilot episode of the entire thing. Like,
Right.
this is like, and it's so dark. The
dark,
audio, it's not that good.
art
It
is
was a
bad.
bootleg like audio mix that we had going on.
Yeah,
too.
I used to do podcasting, but a lot of the stuff, like this equipment was pretty old. I had to relearn how to work some of the stuff. I had a new camera that I didn't know how to use. I never even used a camera in my life, so I had to figure out how to get the camera to work. And I would stay up all night trying to figure out, okay, how can I make this podcast better? So, I'm going to talk about how we did it, but it took some practice.
Yeah, it
that's
took a
for
lot,
sure.
yeah.
A lot of retries. Sometimes we would do episodes and nothing would be recorded.
Oh, yeah, it would either be like
Scrap project.
it would go straight black, where like, oh, they're not, the video's not going, or the audio cuts out. We're like,
Cuts out.
oh, dude, we just talked for like a good solid hour and 40 minutes.
We do 30-minute episodes now, but before it was an hour, and so it was horrible.
And we're just like, what's the last thing we said? Okay, we pick up from there.
And pick up from there and do a whole episode where we left off at an hour ago. It's awful, but it was. We loved it. It was still fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it still got good enough where we were into it, even though we just said the information beforehand.
Yeah.
So anyway,
That was a year
that
or
was
2 years,
2 years
ago
ago
now.
now. Yeah,
2
it's been
years
a
ago.
while, and so it grew into a small community now of people who love to watch it, and I think the common response I keep hearing is like, "Oh, this is the stuff I need to hear."
Yeah, and see, it's funny you say that because my friend who messaged me, who I shouted out already in the beginning, she told me it's like, this is stuff I want to hear. This is something I need to hear more often.
Yep.
And that's kind of the reason why, or my mindset of like when making this thing, because we kind of talked about why we want to make this thing. It's like we want to make this basically a kind of a Christian-based podcast where we talk about our faith and what's going on in our lives.
It's about everything.
And yeah, it's about everything, but have very much rooted in
the faith.
Have in the faith. Have God in the middle of all that.
What do we say? What do you think God says? What do all these opinions matter to me as a person, as a believer? It's hard to navigate this world as a believer, especially as a young person who is spiritually. But
also even to the people who are not believers, who just like, hey, I just want to listen to some positive things right now. Like I these people encourage me or whatever. If that's so, then hey, we're doing our job. Like the fact that you're listening to my dumb face tell you things and this gives you joy and gives you a smile, awesome. I'm doing my job. Because the whole point in myself when I was like will promote Occasion and Purpose to my friends or other people, it's like we just want to promote happiness and positivity to people and have a Christian backing behind that.
Yeah, I always said, man, when we were at that youth group, I always told myself in my head that, man, this needs to be more people need to hear this, right? Or they need to figure out, because I think in LA it's apparent that the environment is just crazy sometimes, and you don't have it's hard to find a sense of peace in like a place where you can just like let your guard down, ain't gotta worry about being judged about who I dated, ain't gotta be judged about what I said last week when I was mad. You know, you can just come and just relax, and that friendship, that bond, I was like, man, I need to figure out how to get this to more people, because I think it's awesome to be around good people. It really is.
Yeah,
so I hope this podcast reflects what I believe Doug and all his friends and my friends too try to create when you're around them. They just want you to have fun and lay back and also, you know, figure out, okay, like Christianity is a pretty cool thing to be a part of. And if you're not, still hang around with people who are, because, you know, I think some of these guys are one of the greatest people I ever met, and I'd rather be around them more than be around some of y'all, because at least they ain't gonna, you know, do me wrong. How do they become like that? Well, this podcast shows you how we think, how we do, and how we make assumptions, and how we everything. And
we're wrong most of the time.
You might be wrong.
We can be wrong. We can be definitely wrong, and that's the beauty of this, where like as the title suggests, and we always say it, it's the occasional conversations that you have with your friends, but behind every single conversation there is a purpose for it.
Let me tell you this, man. I did a podcast, and sometimes, you know, me and Doug will break off, and we bring people on the show that we know.
Mostly him.
Mostly me.
Him.
Doug's gonna bring some people soon.
Possibly.
We'll
it depends.
If he wants to. But this guy named Carlos
wants to be on a podcast, and it's like, you're doing a podcast now? I want to be. I was like, what do you got to offer? You got nothing to offer.
No, well, this is the thing. You won't think they don't. The people who don't have nothing to offer.
It's the same. I have the same mentality when people do that. It's the same people who are just like, oh, you made it big. Yo, can I hold $100? I
like to say that
that's my thing.
Everybody has a story.
But
everybody has a story. And if you just ask questions, because this is the thing, you're right? This is how you live life. You go around, you walk around the sidewalk, and you meet all these people that walk by you. You don't even know nothing about them. But if you hear their story, I guarantee it's like a celebrity. If you know their story, you see them on that sidewalk, you're gonna stop and say, "Oh my gosh, it's you." You know. And so one of my friends, his name was Carlos. He went to the show and he told me his story. And like, I mean, this story just touched me in a way. You know, he talked about his aunt passed away and how he wants to give back to his community, how he used sports to kind of get out of a bad situation. And like, these are things that people want to hear. You ain't gotta be Christian to hear that story, to be inspired by it. Occasion and Purpose is that. It's these moments where you can reach a person and just be inspired by who they are and how they got out and how they got to this point. Doug, atheist, freaking super depressed, freaking homeless at one point. Now this man's out
not
here
really
balling.
homeless.
I'm sorry,
not really homeless.
Now this man is out here balling. You know what I'm saying?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't that homeless.
But listen, listen. Same for me. All right, but all I'm trying to say is that you may think you have nothing to offer. I don't have a good job. I don't make that much good. I'm not balling. I have a car. Thank God I have a car. But I'm not rich or something like that. I ain't got a 5-story, 3-car garage. I ain't got a girlfriend. I ain't got nothing. I'm just Doug. But if you tell your story, somebody will be touched by it. Yeah. I think. Same for me. I ain't got a lot, but look, somebody's gonna be touched by it. This is what the show is, and that's pretty much the show, and how we met.
Yeah. And it was like pretty cool. It was like, all right, cool. And I like the fact that it's like, you know what? I don't think from within the group or anything like that, you give a very different side in the way I think. Mm-hmm. Yours is what your opinions when it comes down to different things. We kind of align on most things, but there's a lot of things where we very much differ. Mm-hmm. We live different on a lot of different things.
And you ain't gotta always agree. Your best friends ain't gotta always agree with you. Mm-hmm. The people in your group or your circle ain't gonna always think the same way. Mm-hmm. And I think what the show is also trying to do is to suggest to you that though you disagree, that does not mean you have to try to fix people to allow them to bend their will and think like you. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to force Doug to think like Josh. I'm not here to force Doug's not here to force Josh to think like him. Mm-hmm. We're here to collaborate and listen to each other. Mm-hmm. You may think you're smart, but then you go talk to a 5th grader and you might learn more about anything else from him than you ever learned at a university, right? You have to form connections with people and just talk to people. And so that's what I think we do best, and that's what the show I hope is to you. Yeah, Yeah,
we're not trying to force anything on you guys. We just hope you guys enjoy us talking. It's a conversation. It's just pretty much just a conversation. Sometimes it goes deep. Sometimes we just talked about dumb things, like when we did the Christmas special, the first Christmas special. Yeah. That was just all
such a good episode.
We talked about relationship. We talked about a lot of different things on that one.
We want to do another. We did another one, but it got scrapped.
Oh my god! See, that's what happens when we try to do new things, and it's just like,
well, all this production came from nowhere.
I wore a damn Grinch onesie for that video.
Yeah,
for both videos, I think
didn't get published.
Didn't get published.
So sorry about that, guys.
I was so hot. And so tight. That suit is so tight.
Well, we'll do it again. We'll do it again.
So tight.
But but this is the thing though. When you're moving from different studio, we got a little setup. I call it. It's a little mini studio. Now.
Honestly, this is a little tiny. We have our own little room here. Yeah. Like again, I do not live here. His whole purpose for this home, that is like I want to get it, is because of this little area that we have here.
Yeah, we want.
Just so we can film. We have lights. We have a camera. We have.
I told my roommates, I was like, I need a space, and they were like, we don't care. Like, yeah, of course, And I was like, okay, I'll buy the furniture for it and everything. I'll upkeep it, just because it's like y'all can use it, but like nobody uses it. It's our little studio, honestly. And it's a blessing. And so we get to help you guys out and also help ourselves. So,
but enough. We already, the origins. Like, what are you doing right now? Like, what are you up to? Anything that you. Like, so any crafts you're doing?
When I first started this podcast, I was in community college, and I was very in a state emotionally. How I felt pressured because I felt behind, but not really to a point where I was anxious behind. But a lot of my friends were in high school, were graduating or getting ready to graduate at this point in my life. People in my own college that I knew were going to like all these nice big schools, and they were off doing big things, and they're graduating super early. And I was like, oh my god, like, they're going places. And then I'm still at GCC finishing up some classes. And I'm just like, man, I'm doing student government, but I'm like, man, it's kind of like I don't really want to do this anymore. I want to kind of get caught. I want to go somewhere and do things. All my good friends,
want to shoot for the stars.
They transferred, and my high school friends, they were in college, graduating almost, doing awesome things too. What am I doing in my life, right? So once I left student government, that's when I found NASA, and after that I transferred, and so that's when things were really getting good. So I left that phase, but that phase always kind of hanged over my. Just picture it. It feels like you're behind in life. It feels like, did I choose the right path for me? Because I'm behind, they're ahead, and then the friends that I meet get ahead, and I'm still here.
Well, the thing is, we all have our different races. I'm not talking about as in people. I'm talking about we're all running our different own races, and a lot of us are going to finish it before, but are going to finish first than others. But the thing is, he started first. He started a little bit late, but that race might be at like 200 yards or a few yards. He was already there. So you are in the process of just finishing your thing, but also you have another thing to come right after that. We're not sure. And the thing is, we don't know that the friends that you've made or the people that have gone to college, we don't know what they're going to do after that, after they graduate. Are they going to be able to even find a career in their path that they even... Because a lot of times, and this happens multiple times, where they get a degree, but they're not working in the field that their degree is in. No. So your whole thing could be completely different, and you could be actually using your degree. Yeah. So that's why I'm just like, yo, man, this dude's doing great. But that's not the question I asked. I was like, do you have any hobbies, bro? What are you doing right now?
Oh, okay.
Any arts and crafts that you're doing? Except, you already know we do this.
I do this. This is a hobby for us. This is my biggest hobby in the freaking world. Like, who edits these videos all day? Yeah, just me on the computer, hours and hours of editing.
First of all, we just hit record and that's it.
The green screen?
You put one thing behind the green screen.
So I did a video with Josh Lopez, and it's about Marvel.
Yeah.
About WandaVision, which you were not part of, unfortunately.
Yeah, whatever.
And
I made it up with the next one.
I put, like, I don't know how many shots of that show
that's
on that
fault.
green
that's
screen.
Your fault.
Yeah, because I edit. Right? It's my hobby, right? So you're asking me what my hobby is, right? That would be my hobby. Yeah. You know, I go on that computer, and I'm watching YouTube videos of equipment that I need to make a better show, right? That's my hobby. I'm doing this. Besides that, I mean, I play video games.
You know what I'm doing? I'm making like handles for knives.
You're making, yeah, you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new hobby I just picked up.
You should like post that on your Instagram or something.
I might do that. I almost cut myself. I'm not sure you can see like the.
Oh, be careful, man.
I have a Dremel, so I actually attached a saw to it so I can cut pieces of the wood on it. And as I turned it off, the blade was still spinning pretty quickly.
That's pretty good.
And I got too close to it. It cut me. I was like, I kept looking at it. I'm like, am I bleeding? Am I bleeding? I'm like, I'm not bleeding. I was like, I almost cut a good chunk of my finger, dude.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
You gotta
be careful.
There's
all right,
so
guys.
Much dust.
We're gonna continue this.
We're
gonna continue this.
Oh, yeah, how?
And go on a commercial break.
Oh,
right?
Cool, yeah.
And then we'll be right back.
You guys, my beautiful people. Look. You're watching this video right now because I'm letting you know that we have a social media, which is Occasion and Purpose. We also have our personal one. We have Westside with Love, which is Josh, and Who's_Doug, which is me. You already know, your boy. Also, we have all our podcasts. A good majority of them are going to be on Spotify and also Apple. So you can choose whichever one you want. Rate us, like it, put a comment or whatever. Make it blow up or do whatever you need. Share it. So that way people who do not want to watch our dumb faces for like 30 minutes, they can just listen to us in their dumb ears. All right, I'm done. So you guys have a beautiful day. We love you. Stay blessed. Occasion and Purpose. Out.
And we are back. Man, I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. I want to really just touch on a quick basis on where we want to go after this. So, we have our hobbies, our passions, but like, where do you see this show or just your career, your life going, Doug? Sorry about that.
Honestly, I just feel like I always felt like I always gonna be working with my hands a lot. Like I just be working with my hands. But with the new job that I'm hopefully able to get, I'm gonna be behind a desk most of the time. So I feel like that's gonna just
it's different.
It's gonna be way different. I'm just gonna be behind a desk talking. I'm gonna be a salesman basically. So it's gonna be a whole different like ball game for me. But I'm good at talking. I mean, I have my own podcast. I'm able to talk to people.
You're so good, man. I was just telling, I was editing the video, and I saw him do an advertisement. I was just like, man, like Doug is he's a natural.
I just ad lib. That's pretty much it. I just go off the cusp.
I think people like your personality. That's why.
Well, you guys are weird.
They need to be able to laugh. Well, yeah,
people are weird.
That's why they like you. Because you say stuff like that. That's why they like you. They need that in their life.
So yeah, it's pretty much. I feel like that job is just gonna like push my like hobbies even more into overdrive, where I can invest in my hobbies, or is in knife making, because I'm doing that right now, and maybe some leather work, because I've made this wallet.
Oh, you brought it here?
No, I didn't bring it here, but this wallet that I have is actually my brother made this. I made another one, same version, same exactly like this, but with brown leather. I stitched it myself. I know how to do this now. So I can make wallets and just like give them out as gifts.
Can you engrave the wallet?
I could engrave the wallet. I'm actually looking into getting a laser engraver pretty soon.
So if y'all want a Doug personal wallet, it's fashionable. It's affordable.
It holds about like.
And look how many cards it holds.
It holds a few cards in
and
there.
Cash.
And cash, actually, yeah. That's actually what this little.
Oh, that's the pouch for cash.
This little pouch for cash.
Oh my, look at that!
It's a little small pouch.
Look at that. Where's your ID? ID's right here. Everything's right here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the arts and crafts stuff. Like I enjoy doing that. Like ever since my brother showed me.
That's what you like to do.
It's funny thing. We're very much like we.
Does your brother watch the show?
He's seen a few episodes.
Okay, see. Okay.
I might show him this one. Like, hey, what's up, bro? I love you. I just saw you like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you just.
I'm sending the toys to my niece very soon. When I got off the phone with you, there was a long line, and then I was like, I'm gonna be late for this podcast, so I just left.
This man's having a whole conversation to his brother on the podcast.
I don't care. It's my podcast.
Okay,
but yeah, we enjoy arts and crafts, and we're very good with our hands. Surprisingly.
Okay.
Yeah, even though I'm very clumsy, but I'm able to do things with my hands very well. Yeah. So that's.
Yeah, me personally, I want to use I love doing this. I love pouring money into it. So I'll probably keep pouring my hard-earned resources into making it better for you guys, of course. And also I want to, buy some homes, some real estate. I love real estate.
That's not even a hobby. That's a full-time job, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, like, bro, I'm just at this point. I think college taught me to always keep your hands busy. Like my granddad, this dude is 70, 80 years, almost 80 years old. He still cuts his own grass and always driving the school bus. He has to work.
Idle hands on the devil's playground.
I just read that Bible verse to Jerry.
It's honest, and that's why I like that I just started this thing because it just keeps me busy.
Keeps you busy,
and it keeps me out of trouble.
And that's the secret.
So I have my Bluetooth speaker, put some music on, maybe some worship, and I'm just
you just go at it. I don't care if you're an actor, bro. I don't care if you're architect or you like to make wallets, bro. Like I think just being busy and doing things, support your dreams. Don't just work a 9-to-5 job just to work a 9-to-5. How about work a 9-to-5 job and have that pay for the stuff you want to have a big, say I want to own a studio one day. How about a 9-to-5 job pouring all that money to buying a studio, and then how about I use my real estate money and that'll pay my housing bills and my food bills, and that's so I literally can do
have your money make money.
Have your money make money, bro. You don't have to always go into the stock market or flip, whatever. You can do it.
That's always a good advice, honestly. Have your money make money. But if you just don't and just want to, we said before, if you want to live a simple life,
ain't nothing wrong with that too.
Hey, I just want to work and kind of just do cool stuff.
Do your thing, boo boo.
Do that. That's awesome. As long as it makes you joy and just
kind of makes you happy.
Exactly.
Just do it.
Yeah. But I feel like that's
all right, guys.
We're wrapping up.
That's the origin story. Spider-Man origins.
Spider-Man origins? You mean Wolverine's origins?
Oh no, it's called Wolverine origins.
This man, he hosts a podcast. He hosts about Marvel stuff, and this is what.
I'm a DC fan, honestly.
All right, guys, look at the past few videos. What was behind us? It was Iron Man 3 poster, and it's still up here.
I love everything nerds, but I mean, like DC hasn't been doing that good in their movies. Let's be honest.
Okay, the Snyder Cut I hear is pretty good.
We'll watch it together.
Yeah,
that's 3 hours.
But yes, we saw the podcast, the other one.
All right, y'all. We will catch you next time. Keep it live, keep it here, keep it real, and Dub will say his favorite line.
If you do good just because.
All right, bye.
Deuces.
And it's a Silly Songs with Larry. Caroline. She's modified. Do somewhere half the time. Cause the other half either got you or cussed out or coming up short. Yeah, me and this guy even though need a golden calculator to divide. Deep inside or realize if the wheel down who don't girls. I know you like to think yo. Don't stink, but lean a little bit closer. See, roses really smell like woo ooh ooh. Roses really smell like woo ooh ooh. You like to think you're don't. I love it. All right, let's get out of here.